for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu, and I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody's south of Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. Me? I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
That Dre season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shift. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my own flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete. Deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah. I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping. But I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building, my whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Hey, Grand Rising, everybody. Happy Friday to all of you out there in the ethos. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, and I can't believe I'm flying solo in the studio today. Shout out to Big O. You know, I'm so glad that you are taking a day, my friend. You certainly deserve it. And I just want to get us going, you guys, because we have some amazing guests coming into the studio today. So we're going to get right into it. As always, first off, we want to thank all of you for your support watching this show. Go ahead and tag and share the stream with anybody that you feel could benefit from culturally relevant news emanating right here from the Emerald City. And I also want to give a big shout out to our partners, South Seattle Emerald and KBCS Radio 91.3 over at Bellevue College. Thanks, you guys, for being some of our, strongest supporters as we collaborate with you on all of these projects and all of this show. We also got the Morning Update Show on podcast. If you guys want to listen to it, if you want to listen to it while you're driving in or driving home, you have the option of doing that. Right there is a SoundCloud link. But we also are up on all of the places where you find podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, Google. You guys can find us. check us out there if you guys have a hard time looking at the show the ways that we traditionally stream it. We got it for you on audio. And, we also want to give you guys an opportunity to support us in a different way by copying one of our amazing Converge Pride shirts. Thank you so much. Curtis is on it with all of the screenshots today. There you have it. They come in pink, white, and black. And really, it's just a way of supporting us while also, supporting your pride. And parts of the proceeds are going to POCAN, also People of Color Against AIDS Network. And the truth is that you guys are able to support multiple institutions by buying one of those shirts. So you guys can find those at whereweconverge.com/shop. You guys, the link is going to be in the comments too, making it easy for you guys to find those shirts and figure out if there's other merch you guys want to purchase, because there's lots of Converge merch out there. We're keeping this message alive for all of you out there that are looking to get the vaccine. Public Health is still doing free vaccines, 12 and up in age. So you guys can check out Public Health websites and get on the free vaccine. Again, the key word here is free. And I just got to say that it's really a benefit to us right here in Washington State, because when you travel across the nation, it isn't as easily accessible. It isn't as readily available to so many different communities out there. So let's be proud of the fact that for those who are ready to take that vaccine, it is here for you, and it is definitely free. Okay, we also yesterday, beautiful, beautiful day on our show here, the Morning Update Show, being over at Rainier Beach High School. You guys, trust me, I as soon as I saw the orange and blue shirts, I told, okay, what are we doing? When are we doing the purple and white shirts? So you guys have an opportunity right here to go to the Build the Beach for Us, By Us events. They are hosting events every Thursday, I believe, or every third Thursday. Can you put that back up, Curtis, so that they can see it? Today, you guys it's going to be for next week, Thursday, July 8th at 6 p.m. You guys can register right there. Curtis is making sure the link is in the comments. And really, it's a beautiful opportunity for you guys to participate in a huge redevelopment project happening right there at Rainier Beach High School. It was inspiring yesterday to hear from the students, to hear from Coach Bethia, to hear from Victoria Bethia about how important this project has been. And really, you guys have some of you that don't do development projects ever, you have no idea. I mean, they started this advocacy in 2012, and they're just now getting to a space where in about 18 months or so, they're going to be breaking ground. And it's exciting because it really does take so many voices in terms of advocacy to move these projects forward. You would think that, the school is old enough, it deserves redevelopment. But as they said yesterday, so many of our guests, really reaffirmed the fact that there was projects happening all around them. Yet Rainier Beach was kind of one of the last old school gyms, and literally gyms, GEM, right in the neighborhood. And they are excited to bring some enlightened infrastructure and architecture to the space. But also what I loved so much was hearing how inspiring it's going to be to the entire neighborhood, right? When we talk about drawing the students that want to go there, drawing more amazing athletes that want to go there. And, particularly for me, hearing from the youth who said, look, we went here all 4 years, and now we're in the apprenticeship program so that we can, be part of the hands building the new school. Just a beautiful, beautiful story. If you guys did not get to check that out, please look at yesterday's episode of the Morning Update Show. It was really great to be out there in front of Rainier Beach and to be highlighting what they're doing. You guys will see more episodes coming out as we continue to follow up on this project. We know that it's important because when we have hundreds of millions of dollars of development coming into our communities, we want to make sure Black folks are taking part of that, right? And that we're prioritizing Black contractors and Black suppliers. I mean, there's so many different ways that, those development projects can really amplify and bring resources into the community. So check that out, you guys. And you know what? We got a couple of clips here that we're going to get into before we bring in our guests today. And I just got to say that we have some amazing guests coming in. I'm excited to dive in deeper with some of these guests today. And I love that Big O made sure that it was not only a Feel Good Friday, but it's going to be full of Black girl magic. So we'll be getting into that after the headlines. But first off, I gotta give a huge congratulations to the Seattle Medium. They won a national award. Seattle Medium wins 3 national awards. This is by the Seattle Medium. And the truth is that all of us right here from the community that have been, recipients of the brilliance coming out of the Seattle Medium, it probably does not surprise us that they won these awards. But I just love it when our local folks are getting that national recognition they deserve. Shout out to all of you who have been working hard to keep the medium alive, as we've seen so much happen in terms of print media when digital media really sprouted out. And I know, coming from my media background, that it took a lot to make sure that people were engaged in these stories, that you transition over to digital platforms, right, from traditional print. And I remember so many different magazines, so many different local newspapers kind of went under during that digitization because it was hard to really keep your subscriptions up and keep your readership up. And to be honest, man, kudos to all of you over there at the Seattle Medium for doing just that. You guys are way more deserving of these 3 awards. And I just love being able to know that at a national level, you guys are being recognized for the brilliance we've always known you guys to possess. So, kudos to Seattle Medium. Right here at Converge Media, we're always loving to give shout outs to all of our local Black media. And more so importantly, I got to emphasize that Black media is in its own lane, and the medium really paved the way even for us here at Converge to do what we're doing. So again, congratulations all of you guys over there. Next up, I'm really excited because I get to bring in, Miss Alexandra. She's coming in to the studio. There we go. Great handcrafted motion graphic, Alexandria Holien from the Ada Academy. And, learning a little bit about this from Maria Burrows, which we'll show a clip of that later. I'm so excited to dive in to how Ada is really providing free opportunities for folks who are looking to reinvent themselves in the tech sector. So you guys, we're going to take a short break right now, and coming back from the break, I get to speak and dive in with Miss Alexandra Holden. You guys are watching the Morning Update Show. Hey everybody. We all know that COVID-19 has had a major impact on everything this year, even energy bills. Puget Sound Energy understands the ongoing struggle that's facing its customers. And this is why they're offering a COVID bill assistance program of up to $2,500 per qualified customer. If you or anyone you know are currently behind on energy bills, please contact PSC today to discuss all of the assistance options available. Visit psc.com/COVID to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Besa Gordon from Converge Media. You can catch me on my show Rewind with Besa, which airs every other Saturday at 2 p.m. anywhere you watch Converge Media. Now, I know a lot of us still have questions about the COVID-19 vaccine. However, here are a couple things you don't have to question. Everyone 12 years and older in Washington State are now eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine. It's free, and you don't even need insurance or citizenship status to get vaccinated. If you still have questions, and I know you probably do, you can visit kingcounty.gov/COVID for additional information. You can also call the King County COVID-19 call center at 477-3977 to get COVID-19 and the vaccination questions answered, get translation services if needed, set up an in-home vaccination appointment for yourself or someone you know may not be comfortable at a vaccination site due to a disability, anxiety, or other reasons. Look, with summer being here, now is the time to get all your COVID-19 vaccination questions answered so we can all get out the house and live our best lives again.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, flying solo today, once again, right here in the studio, but very excited to dive in deep about the Ada Academy with Miss Alexandra Holien. What's up, Alexandra?
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me today.
Absolutely. You know what? We didn't even plan this, y'all. You guys see this,
is what
blue and
happens.
you go to the wide so they can see this blue and
Yes.
yellow. You know what I'm saying?
We came
we didn't plan
coordinated.
it. We didn't plan it,
You
y'all.
had to come coordinated
Yeah,
today.
yeah. But you know, the truth of the matter is I am so excited to have you on today because honestly, what you guys are doing is so revolutionary. It really is, and it's just so needed. Tell the folks about Ada Academy.
I would love to. And I love that you had Maria on just recently talking about Ada. And that's really who's amazing in this program. It's the people that we impact. So Ada Developers Academy, we are a tuition-free, mission-driven nonprofit. And we're focused on, I would say number one, economic justice and diversifying tech. We are trying to bring this amazing pathway of tech just to more people. Ada has been this program that's evolved from, you know, there's always that well-meaning white folk that come out and they're like, I want to help women. And we all know what that means when we're talking about the big grand scheme of things. We got deep 4 or 5 years ago and really got intentional about who we want to serve at Ada and who we want in our seats. And we said we want Ada to be a place for Black and brown women and gender expansive people. We want to hit the people that the system of capitalism has left out. And that is the Black and brown women and trans folks. And so our vision is a world that is where Black and brown people feel like they belong in tech and they feel like there is just joy and they can be themselves and there is no, you know, place outside of just walking to work and just having just to worry about being in a technology place and not having to be like the only Black person or the only trans person or the only Latinx person. So our goal is to diversify tech, and how we're doing that is we are training. Right now, our cohorts of 96 in Seattle, so 96 people every 6 months are graduating from our program. There's a bunch of other cool numbers that I love sharing about Ada and how we're really good at what we do, but our goal is just to bring tech, the software industry job, just to more people, particularly Black and brown folks, and to make sure that they got that economic justice that MLK talked about, the jobs that MLK talked about, and the high-paying jobs. Shoot, I can wax poetically a long time about this. So you got to cut me off at some point.
I love it because, you know, one of the things Maria said was, oh my God, I love Alexandra and her energy and she's such a firecracker. So I just love it because I'm seeing it full throttle right now. But the truth of the matter is I think you have to have that kind of level of passion in order to embark on something like this that really is, as you said, totally trying to disrupt this industry, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it comes from a place. Let's speak a little bit about that inspiration that made you say, this is how we have to do this.
Oh my goodness. I went to a really heady but amazing master's program at UW-Bothell called, it's a Master in Cultural Studies. And there, I've been working in industries, tech industries and sales industries where the money was there. I was normally the only Black person in the room. My parents didn't know what I did. They were like, oh, you went to college. They had me that far. You know, go to college because education is the only way to upward mobility. But what I didn't realize, the next step in upward mobility was access and opportunity. I was lucky, I can't say any other word besides lucky, that I got into the industries I got into. And once I was in them, I saw that wow, people are making $100,000 at 25. What? I don't have any, where are my friends? Where's my family? So it was that moment. My program gave me the language to really express what capitalism has done to the Black and brown people of this economy and Black and brown people of society, how it really manifests and how it manifests to keep people down, keep you working so hard you can't even look up and realize that your ass is being exploited. Sorry, I don't know if I can burp.
No, that's all right.
Oh, and realize that you're being exploited in a system. And the beauty, what happens when you have economic justice and you have the moment to breathe, is joy. Beautiful, beautiful Black joy. And when I realized that was a thing that could happen for myself, for my family, for my people, I was like, okay, I got to get in it. And then it was crazy. It was serendipitous, and the universe always, in my experience, will provide if you put it out there. And I was like, I just want to make a difference in a place that is disruptive and big and bold and doing it right. And I found Ada. And I mean, I've been there for 6 years. I'm the longest standing employee there, which is people are coming in and out, but it is my dog in this fight. I feel a lot of passion around it because I see what it does. I see Black women, Black mothers, Black trans folks. I see people buy homes and make generational wealth and buy their parents, get out of homes, get out of debt, send their kids to better schools. And that is everything to me. That is that's the fight to me. So that's where the passion comes from.
Well, you know what? It's clear that it really resonates with you on such a personal level. And again, I think our personal stories, all as customizable and unique as they are, they really are the model for how we get to where we're supposed to get to. And I love the ideas of what it looks like to be living in your purpose, right?
Yeah.
And so there's part of it for me that when I'm listening to you speak, that's what's coming through. That's what's coming forward. So, through your own experience, was Ada already existing and then you joined Ada? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's hear a little bit about the beginnings of Ada.
Yeah, so Ada was around for I think about a year before I joined, because we're only 7 years old. We're about to hit our 500 mark of graduated students, which is huge. When I started, I think we were at 48. So This is big. When I first started Ada, it was started by Scott Case. He's an entrepreneur in the Seattle scene. He had energy savvy, and he just really couldn't hire, to his eyes, diverse talent was, women. In my eyes, when someone says just women, I just think of white feminism, and I think, oh, white women. And so when I started with Scott, I remember in our interview, he goes, how would you walk in and sell Ada to someone? Tell me how you would do it. This is how I do it. And I go, Scott, you're a white dude. I can't walk in and sell anything like you do. I had to go a totally different route. So when I started, Ada was we're about women. And then we realized that in our classroom, there were not just women in that classroom. There was non-binary folks. There were folks who were questioning what their gender might be. And we saw that the layer of race will always come through. And the layer of race did come through very quickly. It was why is it that we are only really seeing success in a certain group? And then we realized if we don't focus on the people that need us the most, so a huge part of what we want to do, one of our values is being an anti-racist organization, and that means centering Black and brown folks. When we build a program, when we build a system, when we talk about a policy, you center who needs it the most, who is going to be affected the most. Our new curriculum, we have an amazing curriculum designer. Their name is Simon, and they built this curriculum that talks about what white supremacy looks like in education. Maria didn't get to see the new curriculum. I think she was still in Rube, but now we're in a new curriculum, and it is beautiful to think about where we came from, which was well-meaning things. A lot of well-meaning things come out of this, to where it had the chance to evolve to. The leadership that we had in certain moments was the catalyst to that. We had Cynthia T. She now works over at Smartsheet. She's a VP over there. She was ready to listen. I mean, she was a great ally. She was an Asian American woman coming from 20 years in Microsoft. She was ready to listen. She did the work. She really did the work. I'd be like, here's a list of books. Go home. You got this. And she's like, we got to change this. We got to change this. So, and that's the big thing that Maria, I remember her talking about this, is she was in the speech pathology, and there wasn't room for those conversations around change. Yeah. And what is cool is there's room for conversation around change in the tech industry, and they're here for it. We got to push them sometimes. We got to make sure that it's not just performative change. It's policy, it's practice, it's values. We got to make sure it is real, but there is room for change, and I love that those conversations are allowed to happen. There's this pedigree of tech folks that is lifelong learners, and that's what's a really cool thing that we get to see at Ada, is these folks that are lifelong learners that okay, I don't know everything and I can learn something new.
Well, you just brought it up there. Maria Burrows was on Chats with Trey, and I was so excited to sit down with her. We have a quick clip for folks that may not have caught the episode, so maybe they can hear a little bit more right here from Maria herself. you're, speaking to strangers. So you really did like say, look, this is what I'm going to do. And then Ada paved the way for you. How was your experience in this Ada developers program?
It was incredible. It really was. Like I said, they have a program that really sets you up for success. But beyond that, I think the program and the people that go through it are amazing. One thing that I didn't really talk about was like the training that I had for my original profession, so undergrad and graduate school. It was pretty cutthroat. It was really competitive. There was a lot of competition between students, and I think sometimes that breeds like a toxic environment and a competitive spirit that doesn't necessarily bring out the best in me, and I don't think it brings out the best in anyone, really. And so at Ada, they really stress this idea of collaboration over competition, and that is so pervasive throughout the culture there. Everyone was encouraged to ask questions. Everyone was supported. I almost felt like it was being in an academic environment, but healing like some of those previous negative experiences that I've had. And it was like I didn't know that I needed it, but it felt great once I was in it. Yeah, so I was really thankful for that.
Oh, beautiful. And you know what? You had a great segue there. I mean, one of the things that Maria really dived into was how intentional you guys are about incorporating the lived experience of the students in what you guys provide. I mean, she was talking about, look, if you need childcare, if it's you need this, or if you need that, how have you guys been able to incorporate students' feedback and getting them to be able to be a part of the design of Ada?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite things about like Ada. And one of the things that I wanted to be really careful with was making sure that community, and that community for us is the Ada students, the Ada alums, the people that are involved in the feedback loop that help us make us better. I never wanted it to be like outside of the system or outside of what was happening in the classroom. So we're constantly surveying and asking for feedback and doing NPS scores on ourselves. When students, initially, like this was taught very early on that, okay, free is not enough for everyone. Like, we can't just be free. Some people can't have 5 months without a job. And so we put in our zero interest loan program and our grant program. And that is all funded by different funders across the Seattle atmosphere. People that are like, hey, I can, and this is great because we do this thing called community impact investment with a group called Community Credit Lab. And what they do is folks bring in, like say, you are a tech bro or a tech, lady, and you are a tech person, and you have, a huge amount of money in the bank, and you want to go put it to work for 5 years. Give us $50,000. Let us lend it out to people for 5 years, and then you get your $50,000 back. It's a different kind of investment. It's investing in your community. Some people say, okay, I don't want to just just give $1 and then not know where it goes. Some people give money and they want to see where it goes, and a lot of people go back through and then they end up donating it back, which is great. We love that. But also, we're fine with just making it an investment for you too. Another thing, it was the pandemic that taught us that childcare, and obviously the pandemic is shining a huge light on parenthood and childcare. And we had so many people who were like, I can't do this anymore. Like, there's no way I can keep going to Ada. My childcare center's closed, and I have to be in class. So we opened an emergency childcare space for our students to come. My boss personally, I was like, hey, I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. There's no way I can do this. Yes. And she was like, let me get you a nanny to come so you can keep doing this work, because she knew how important it was for me to step into this work at this time. Therapy. We have free therapy. I think it's going to be for next cohort, it's going to be free therapy for anyone that needs it. But we initially, of course, were always serving from the center of needs. So we served free therapy for our Black, Latinx, trans, Indigenous students. Like, if you were any of those identities, you had free clinical therapy. We had people that were taking advantage of that once a week. We had free somatic healing sessions where people would come in and after like the murder of George Floyd and just the political unrest, our students and our alumni were, everyone was drained. And we were like, how can we heal in this moment? We're coding, and we're like, at 4 o'clock, there's a somatic healing session. At 7 o'clock, there's yoga. So we're trying to take care of people in this very holistic, full way, because we believe if we can take care of you and get you there to that economic justice, you can take care of yourself. And what's beautiful about these communities, they take care of other people, because that's what's ingrained. That's what's always been about our community. You don't just say, like, you don't just feed yourself. You don't make up one chicken breast for yourself. You make 25 chicken breasts for anybody that wants to come over. Like, that's what happens with us. And so that's what I love giving back to this community so much, because they inherently want to give back.
It's just so beautiful. I mean, I was, just trying to hold back some of my emotion, because when I think about equity, it takes on so many different amazing notes. And it's customizable. And it's in the nuance that you're describing in terms of, all of the ways that you're looking at the students as a holistic person. So we talk about what you're doing in that modicum of Ada and really expanding that stuff out, giving people who have the money the opportunity to invest in someone else. That right there is social investment. As I'm listening to you, I'm like, you guys have figured it out, and it makes me so elated.
I think
because
so.
It's like what you're doing needs to be replicated in so many other spaces. Have you guys had anybody coming to Ada to learn about you guys' model so that they can try to apply at least pieces of what you guys are doing to a different industry or a different sector? Have you guys had any of that?
We see it in other industries. I've seen it in like nursing and healthcare. One of our board members, he was doing sort of a similar model in nursing and healthcare. I honestly, being on the business development side, I see that there is plenty of the pie to go around. There is enough tech unfilled, especially young tech talent jobs that are not being filled. And if they are being filled, it's by, white dudes. And so our goal is to get more of the, more diversity in there. There's the Turing School down in California. There's Tectonica in San Francisco, both of who, we're collaboration over competition. There's room for all of us in this space. So we're constantly talking to them and saying, how are you doing? What are you doing right? But Ada's expanding. We just got some really cool funding, and we're waiting on some other cool funding, and they'll hopefully to come through. We don't know if it is going to come through yet, but we're expanding to Atlanta. Wow. What we want to do, our goal over the next, I would say 12 to 18 months, is deeper in Seattle. We think that we have not hit what we need to hit when it comes to the Native community here, the Black and African American community here, the PI community here, the Cambodian community. We know that there's more partnerships and more folks we need to hit in Seattle. But then we're also going to hit Atlanta, because we are looking at the intersection of the people we want to serve, Black and brown folks, and tech, and it's there. So I think our cohort 17, which is next February 2022, we'll be expanding to Atlanta. And I really, that's the thing about Ada. We're just waiting for somebody to say, hey, let me just infuse a bunch of money in you so you can do this more. Because what our goal is, I think, as a leadership team and someone that obviously I feel a lot of passion around this work is, okay, we figured it out. How can we do more? Yeah. How can we do more? Our graduation rate, if you take a chance on Ada, our graduation rate is 97%. Our placement rate is upward of 90%. We are going to get you a job after you come to our program. And then the salary rate of change is 160%. People are coming in making $35,000, $40,000. They're leaving making $120,000. Wow. And it's that's huge. Our next cohort is going to be the most diverse cohort I've ever seen. 60% under-invested communities. That's communities of Latina, Black and African American, Indigenous, and PI. 60%, and then 27% of those are just Black folks. Wow. And I'm yes. We can do more.
Yeah,
I just want to do more of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest with you, I could sit down with you and talk about this for hours probably. Really so I'll definitely be reaching out, because I think that there's so much in terms of what you guys are doing that can be gleaned from and learned from when we're talking about really establishing equity solutions for our people. Man, Alexandra, thank you so much for being here today.
I have one more plug.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just that we are having an informational session that is going to be July 27th. I would love to have that filled with Black and brown folks from the Seattle area, Pierce County, Yakima. Come through. We have a digital program. We have an in-person program. Some people can't come to Seattle, and that is fine, but please come through, and I would love to see that filled. with as many people as possible, July 27th.
Well, yeah, I was just gonna say, man, if people are interested, right, after hearing your passion, hearing all of this amazing ways that you guys are really plugging in to the community, let them know right now how they can get in touch with Ada.
I get really excited. So we have our website, adadevelopersacademy.com. Also, we're very active on Twitter and Instagram. But I would say the best way is sign up for our newsletter so you're always there, so you always know like what's going on. And the next event is July 27th. We have Mahogany, our new outreach coordinator. It's going to be helping us out there. So yes, please come. I'd love to see you.
Wow. Well, we really appreciate you coming on today with all of your passion and energy. I will be reaching out. Yeah, I'll be reaching out to you because it was just so inspiring and phenomenal what you guys do. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you guys heard it right there from Alexandra herself. I'm so excited to dive in more with her and possibly be able to bring more opportunities for you all out there if you're looking to change your career path or reinvent yourself, as they say. Hey, there's an opportunity right here that is making it easy for you to do so. And coming up next after this break, I get to bring my girl, Shaina Shepherd, on. Amazing recording artist, and I can't wait to dive in with Shaina about this recording academy that she gets to be a part of. You guys are watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media. Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. As you can see from our new merch ad there's plenty of amazing merch that you guys can cop today to help support all of the efforts right here at Converge. You guys can find all of that amazing merch at whereweconverge.com/shop. Another way to support all of the things we're doing, and we appreciate all of you out there. Shout out to all of our donors, our supporters. Shout out to those of you who tag and share the stream every day. We see you and we appreciate you. It was amazing to, catch up with Alexandra. I can't wait to learn more and just dive in. I feel like she had so much more to say, but you guys know we got an hour here to pack it in. And I had to bring my girl, Miss Shaina Shepherd, on once again to join us for this Feel Good Friday. What's up, girl?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, yes. Right? I mean, it's so much amazing Black girl magic up in here today. Right. Omari knew what he was doing to schedule all this at the same day. And, and to be honest, I heard you saying to Alexandra how inspiring that was. I mean, before we dive in to what you're here to talk about, you were out there listening and watching. And what was it that you really just took in from that?
Oh my gosh, I was so inspired. I was like, man, if I had seen Ada when I was younger, who knows if I needed music?
Right.
Because it's a scary world out there to figure out how to find your place, how to be creative, and also be able to sustain yourself. And now there's another option. It's just a great, fabulous option for women of color to not just see entertainment, but also how to build the worlds and structures of innovation around that. I'm down for it. And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, yeah. And you know what? You yourself are just incredibly inspiring. You know how proud we are over here when we got this news about you being a part of this recording academy. Tell the folks about it a little bit so they have a little bit of history about what this is exactly.
Right. So the Recording Academy is the Grammys, the Grammy Awards that we watch every year. It's a conglomerate of artists, producers, production staff, all of the music industry coming together not only annually to celebrate each other, but also working through our communities to keep our music industry a part of the full infrastructure of our community nationally and then globally. You know, there's a lot of debate about the impact of the Grammys, but you know, really, the Recording Academy works to do a lot to support musicians through Music Cares. It's an important program and organization that provides musicians opportunity of health care, insurance, and all of the things necessary to keep us just active and living our lives through our jobs. And the Recording Academy also works as an advocacy group to legislature to help make sure that musicians and artists are at the forefront of retaining the rights of our intellectual property. And there's a lot of fight going on with that, especially now as you know, so many different companies and communities are reassessing the way that we look at that digital work. It's a really important movement. So I feel really honored to be a part of that work, and hopefully all of the really fun stuff, the collaboration and the networking and getting to know each other around the global music community will be impactful in my life, but also impactful for our Seattle community as we kind of roll into this new chapter of membership here. So it's a time. It's definitely go time. Let's see what happens.
Wow. Shaina, there's so much in bed there that they do. I mean, you know, for so many of us who are not familiar, right, we didn't understand the depth that the Recording Academy really has. And I think that you're right to bring up, well, you know, some folks say the Grammys ain't for black folks. You know, they never allow black folks to win. And it's this kind of like competition that, you know, really has been, you know, historically not always serving our communities. And what are some of the things that you're excited about in terms of now joining this prestigious effort in terms, you know, of keeping music alive in all of these communities? What's the most exciting thing for you?
Oh my goodness. Well, what you're saying about the black community being how it's represented in the mainstream perception of the Recording Academy, I think is that really true. I mean, I think that there's so many black artists whose art form and perception over the past decade especially has been put to the forefront of what we see nationally with music and pop sense. But it's been since the 1980s and the 1970s that the black impact has been so truly ingrained in the music communities building all over the nation. So the fact that black people are now getting that personal recognition for their art forms being highlighted has provided an opportunity for black people to come to that behind the curtain part of the ranking, where it's like we can't, I think the Recording Academy in this changing world has been forced to see the impact of having more diverse perspectives and voices just working in the background and just building the community, building the culture, building the parameters and metrics of like what is correct and what really reflects what we do as a global music industry, what's really happening, and not just highlighting the incredible work of artists and perspectives of color. It is the work of artists and perspectives of color like Kendrick Lamar and Donald Glover and so many people that have not just created incredible bodies of work, but also created musical ecosystems that are doing the work that people can't see, that has created opportunities for me and Besa Gordon and so many other Pacific Northwest people of color to come in and be a part of this process. And hopefully what we'll see is as things, it's not just gonna be more recognition for our chapter here in Pacific Northwest, or not just even more recognition of our people, our culture behind the scenes, but also like a full balanced ecosystem where we can see the perspectives of people of color happening on the, you know, in the front of the camera and behind the camera and in the boardroom and on paper, so that we can really get the music community to reflect what it looks like in the American diaspora.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I can see why that would be one of the most exciting pieces for you, because you really do, in terms of your artistry, what we saw, when we're gonna have that show that clip too, but what we saw from your efforts in just diving deeper in community and reevaluating even yourself and your impact in community. So to take that to this national level is so important. We have a quick clip here of you are our star.
Wait, what's happening?
All right, so let me just clarify something here real quick, Shaina. You are definitely, matter of fact, you're right. Rock is a limiting word. You are such a bright, shining star who operates in so many different categories. We just saw you right there where Ray covering Ray Charles in Georgia. We see you jam out and everything else. I would say that you are a star that can't be defined by just one genre. So let me, Big O always say, man, I'm smart enough to know what I don't know, right? And I'm always willing to correct myself. You are just a star, and no matter what, you are our star here at Converge.
Oh my God.
Come on now, you're one of our shining stars out here.
Listen though. You're making me buckle and chuckle right now. But the reality of it is we have had a summer. We have had a year. I just been such a fan of Converge, and the fact that y'all have just been so inspiring to me. As a person, I feel like I look at even just a couple months ago when we shot that in our living room. And I think about the changes and the personal and social accountability that I feel, how deeply inspiring watching this show every day changes the way you think about things. And now I'm like, yeah, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, but like, what do I want to say? That's the power of like local networking community. So if you gonna gas me up, I'm gonna gas you up too. Looking amazing right now. This is what I want to look like.
Come on. I mean, the truth of the matter is that you really have just shown up and shown out. And to be honest, I mean, we got each other's numbers now. It's on and popping. It's on and popping. But, when we talk about, these opportunities at this national level, I mean, you mentioned our girl, Besa Gordon, one of these Converge queens over here, also holding it down. I want to dive in a little bit into how you even get nominated or get put on at this level. What does that look like for you? Did you have to fill out something to let them know you were interested, or did they just, hey, we recognize your artistry? How did that work behind the scenes?
To be a member of the Recording Academy, you're nominated by members of the Recording Academy, and then the chapter votes off of a list of people that have been nominated by individual members, and I think you need 2 endorsements to be a member. Then there's some other amazing work happening on the local level, or not local, sorry, regional level, about like who are artists and community members and industry leaders that can contribute directly to what we're doing as a chapter. And that also comes into play. So I was so shocked to get a call or email of like, hey, we're considering you for this. I was like, why? Like, are you sure? I mean, humility is one thing, but also reality is another. But then I've realized that it's really about, this is a class situation. It's like when you go to school for 4 years or 2 years and you have a objective in mind of a certain level of impact and connection that you're looking to make, and then you reassess it for the next 2 years. And that's what I'm gonna be doing. I think that's what most of us do. What kind of work can we do? What kind of impact can we make? How can we share our stories into this time and really involve ourselves? So here we are.
Wow. I mean, honestly, just so incredibly proud of all of your work, everything you do. I really work hard to not bawl my eyes out when you're here with us, because I love your music. I love your approach to music, and I love your connection that you are being very intentional about in terms of the community. And the last time you were here, we showed this music video, a clip of it from Get on the Bus. Back of the bus.
Back of the bus.
Back of the bus. Let's go to Back of the Bus.
crossing the track reminds me that every reaction just keeps him keep holding me back to the front of the line where I preached while I pounded rose glasses of wine. I suppose perhaps that Miss Stein got it wrong when she told us a rose is a rose, rather red. But reading is so fundamental and keeping me mentally fed. So they said out on the intercom, but it's often quite hard to hear from the back of the bus. I fall into the trap, the light that my brilliance is balanced by booty that he wants to dab. Like a keg filled with the blackest gunpowder, I find shelty substance of dread. I was red of a dream that a reverend had, for he was shot in the head. But who knows, the books that I borrowed from Dewey had pages ripped out in the back. Not a fact often spoken of, but it's often quite hard to hear from the back of the bus.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm over here just already again, y'all. I'm just every time. You know what? Shaina, you do it for me every single time. And I'm so glad that you were here today as part of our Feel Good Friday and this amazing Black Girl Magic energy happening over here. Real quick, before we let you go, let the folks know how they can catch up with you, with your music, buy that track if it's still available. How can they get in touch with Shaina Shepherd?
Absolutely. That song, Back of the Bus, is available on Bandcamp. All of the proceeds go to support Africatown, so you can purchase it there and help me make a donation to support our community, because that's our job. You can follow me at Shaina Shepherd Music on everything that you can follow somebody you want. And if you want to see me in person, I will be performing at the Neptune on July 31st with friends in Warren Dunes and Black Ends.
I can't wait to be there. I'm going to put it in my calendar. Excited. Thank you again so much for joining us, for giving us some in-depth insight into the Recording Academy. And congratulations again, my friend.
Thank you,
are
sis.
making your community proud. I can tell you that so much, especially your Converge family right here. We are so proud and so excited that you are part of all of the things we do here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Onward. We're doing the work.
Absolutely. You guys, we are going to take a short break, and joining me right after the break is our very own Jay Gravbrot. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media. Welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Update Show. I'm your co-host, Trey Holiday, and I am excited because my favorite photojournalist, my favorite photographer, period, hands down, Mr. Jake Graffbrock gets to join me. What's up, Jake?
Hi, Trey.
Hey.
I got the blue memo, but apparently that yellow gold I didn't get. So I'm wearing red shorts. I apologize for not entirely matching, but I came close.
Hey, look, they don't even know how many times we actually just accidentally match. It's so hilarious when we come into the studio and I'm like, oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, well,
we got our camo on today.
It's not too tough when I have like 3 pairs of pants and one of them is camo. So
you always say that. Well, I'm excited to bring you on and dive in to this story that we really did on the Negro Leagues. I'll let you explain the clip before we show it.
For sure. So, one of our interns here, Ike, had an idea about putting this whole clip together, and gosh, I'm so impressed with the idea because it is a story that is always important to be telling. And we got the guys over at Baseball Beyond Borders and a couple of other professional ball players together for this clip, along with some help from Ebbetsfield Flannels, who are a local company who has helped to preserve the history of baseball in so many different forms, from old uniforms that various different leagues have had. And so they were able to get us some old uniforms from some Negro League teams, some of my favorite uniforms in history, in all honesty. And this piece really talks quite a bit about just all that was lost in the merging of a league that was all black owned, just to be able to have equity, to be able to see black ball players in the major leagues. And again, I think I hit on it the other week when we talked a little bit about it, and it was probably the morning show or something else that we were talking about it. But if you think about it, if you think really deep about it, it doesn't take much, but that was an entire league, it was an entire ecosystem. Ticket takers, ushers, ball players, family, all these, concession stands workers, all these people that were involved in a black-owned league that was shuttered the moment that Jackie Robinson was integrated into baseball. And as the years have gone on, you've seen the numbers diminish. And in the beginning, it was only a ball player per team that was, I think, allowed to be able to be in the major league. So out of 25 ball players, 1 player on the team was allowed to be black. And that's just wild to me. You had the best players in the game that were in the Negro Leagues, and you had, you're finally seeing in 2021 baseball saying we will integrate those statistics into the history of Major League Baseball. But we're 100 years, like the Negro Leagues existed 100 years ago, through the integration, when Jackie Robinson came into the major leagues. And so there's just so much that you can really dive into. And this 7-minute clip right here will touch on some of that.
Welcome to Converge Media's Salute to the Negro Leagues, a living room conversation discussing the impacts of Negro League baseball in our communities. I am Buki Gates, a servant leader and a lover of all things baseball. Last year culminated in the 100-year anniversary of Negro League baseball. It all began in 1920. The Negro National League formed from the determination of Andrew Rube Foster, who was insistent that black teams should be owned by black men. It was at this time Negro League baseball brought forth a thriving ecosystem that produced economic mobility through its sports and entertainment offering. But this effort was long overdue. Even before 1920, Bud Fowler, Frank Leland, Moses Fleetwood Walker, and a host of black ball players explored their potential to play baseball. Their efforts and the efforts of many paved the way for those even on this panel and others in the black community to love and fall in love with the sport of baseball. Joining me today are 3 distinguished gentlemen, ones who are lovers of the game of baseball just like myself. With me is Andre Redmond, Rick Pitts, and Matt Fields. Brothers, thanks for joining us for this conversation.
It's my pleasure, man, definitely.
So we're talking about a salute to Negro Leagues and baseball, right? Being the only sport that we ever owned as black people. It's actually the only sport ever owned by black people.
Like, personally, it's crazy and I'm gonna say just not to cut into time, right? But I didn't know that we owned baseball. I had no idea, right? And that right there hit me even harder because it's like, man, this is something I love to do. I had no clue we owned it. Like, this was ours, and it got taken from us, just like everything else, right? Like, it's intense.
So then when we formed our own league, you had an ecosystem, a thriving space, right, where everything revolved around it. And Omari Salisbury talks about it all the time, right? Ticket sales, we own that. We own buses. We own the concessionaires. We own fields because of that.
Did you see the stands in those pictures, man? Just overflowing, man, with melanin.
So what did we lose, right? What did we lose and what did we gain from integration?
It was detrimental, man, to the culture of baseball, man. It hurt us.
Yeah.
It hurt us, man, because it was taking that team's star attraction away. You know, you take the star away, you're gonna take some fans away. You're gonna take some of the enjoyment of the game away from the people that are paying. No, I'm not gonna pay the same to watch a team that doesn't have Satchel Paige, doesn't have, you know, a Buck O'Neil, doesn't have, you know, right, you know, and sadly, that's, you know, being accepted on that side, just, you know, steady decline.
And it didn't happen overnight, but yet you started to see the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I think we lost more than we gained. We gained opportunity on a higher scale to be able to put a few athletes on the top scale to be seen worldwide. But I feel like if we would have had the Negro Leagues longer, that more of us would have continued to play.
Right? And so, like, imagine what we're going through now in this situation, what they're going through back then, like racism, death threats, like not really knowing what was going to happen.
Not even getting an opportunity.
No, like not even getting an opportunity. I think that's what kills majority of, I'll say, African-American players' dreams, is the fact that subconsciously we're like, man, are we actually even getting a fair opportunity, or are we just going into this like blind, right? Because there's a lot of us who should have had the opportunity that didn't get it, and it's not because we didn't want it, it's because somebody else had the control. So then you always doubt yourself, and then from there, you get lost.
And it still rings true to the day of there's still a select limitation of African Americans getting access to it, right? Unless you're finding organizations that are coming into communities and supporting that. Other than that, it's just pretty much a nitpick, right? We're gonna nitpick who we want. So I believe a decision was just made not too long ago about the merging. So now records, all Negro League records and stats will now merge into and being a part of Major League Baseball history. So now we're gonna see a lot of records fall. Right.
Now I got to go back to Cooperstown, man.
Now we got to see who, like, really, Josh Gibson. Now, we always hear they say he was the black Babe Ruth. Well, obviously, Babe Ruth was the white Josh Gibson.
No question.
That's the reality of it is.
Right.
Josh Gibson was not a Babe Ruth. He was a Josh Gibson, and he was something as a catcher. He was something as a hitter. You know, but then you start thinking of the Buck Leonards, you start looking at the Martin DeHigos, who obviously I think and that's the jersey you're donning right now, Martin DeHigo. He was actually the only player ever to be in 5 different countries' Hall of Fames. You just like, whoa. Crazy. How did Negro League shape your trajectory in wanting to play baseball?
Yeah, I mean, say flat out, man. Just hearing the stories of, you know, Negro League baseball. I got hip to the Satchel Paige. I got hip to the Cool Papa Bell. I got hip to the Josh Gibson. I got hip to, you know, I mean, Buck O'Neil. All of those guys, man. Just, you know, and it just made, plus the love of baseball, you know, made me want to just, you know, I want to see what I could do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the stories, like you said, the stories was it for me too. I remember my dad, and whenever I pitched, he called me Satchel Paige. When I'm in the outfield, he called me Cool Papa Bell. And it wasn't until I got older till I really found out who these guys were and appreciate that those were big time compliments that he was giving me.
Huge.
He said, Cool Papa Bell. And I don't know, it's one of these vibes how true it is. He said he's so fast, he hit a ground ball up the middle and the ball hit him in the head sliding into second base. So I said, if he's running like that, yeah, I'm Cool Papa Bell.
So let's talk about kind of how important is keeping the legacy alive of Negro Leagues with these jerseys, right? We're wearing Josh Gibson, Slim Jones, potentially. We got Buck O'Neal. This could be Jackie's. I don't know what number. I'm number 5, so it could be Satchel. And then obviously you're down in Martin DeHigo's jersey. Why is it important that we keep this legacy? And Ebbetsfield Flannels, thank you, Ebbetsfield Flannels, for allowing us to use these jerseys for this segment. Use? Yeah. Well, we can talk about them. We'll talk to them. If we can start wearing these.
I got to go to the bathroom, man.
Thank you. Absolutely. So talk about the importance of it, right? Of keeping this legacy alive of Negro League baseball.
I think the importance, right, like, just for me, is reminding us where everything started and where it came from, right? Like, not the money, not the fame, but the passion of just playing a kid's game and, like, loving what you do, right? And, of course, being African-American and doing something that supposedly was unheard of, but being able to be great at it, right? Like, that's one thing that's very important.
Yeah, I second that. I definitely need to do, and I'm going to do a lot more homework after today, and just enlighten myself and get more familiar not only with the not so well-known players, but just the league overall, because you never know what spark you're going to give to some young person. The same way we had that spark from our parents or who influenced us about Satchel Paige and Jackie Robinson. It could be somebody in our organization that might start the next BBB or might start another semi-pro like your dad did that could just explode into something else. So that's why it's important to keep it alive, because you never know who you're going to touch, who's going to plant that seed and expand on what we already got.
Within the last month, I was enlightened about, Black Wall Street, and what we had there and what we lost there. So, parallel to that, we had, our own league, our own stadiums, our own, following, and the players, man, just, they added so much to the game. That's where, the flair, the style, it's a beautiful thing, especially your baseball.
Yeah.
That's what we need to get the kids familiar with, is our baseball. There's baseball and everybody loves baseball, but, love yours.
Yeah. So brothers, I thank y'all for joining us. I thank Converge Media. Thank you, Ebbetsfield Flannel. We look forward to continuing to talk about baseball and celebrating Juneteenth, and a salute to Negro League Baseball.
Wow, what an amazing clip indeed. And I know we went over time today, y'all, but we had to make sure we showed that clip in its entirety. Jake, before we get out of here, you were just telling me some phenomenal stuff about your personal connection to baseball. And what does that clip right there mean to you in terms of really elevating the Negro Leagues?
Well, I'm a student of history. I love history. I love it in all different forms, whether it be, from politics to sports and all that. And so as a fan of baseball, growing up, my favorite baseball players were black ball players. Back in the 80s, Eric Davis, Darryl Strawberry, Barry Bonds, the best players in the game back then were black ball players. And, we've seen those numbers that I mentioned before we went into that, those numbers diminish, and the Mariners now have like the biggest contingent of black ball players in baseball. And I think, that we need to be doing everything that we can to be opening doors. We talk a lot on this show and on this platform about ending gun violence, and there's so many different things that we can be giving youth, avenues towards to get off the streets, and this is one of those. Sports has always been one of those avenues, and I would love to see those numbers get back up to being truly equitable, and we have a long ways to go, obviously, but this story is one that needs to continue to be told, because the history of the game does not exist without black ball players, and also without women too, because we have, that there's no crying in baseball. Everybody remembers that quote, a league of their own, but baseball also was a sport that women have always traditionally been involved in too. So there's a lot of history in that, in the sport itself, and I think that it's really important that we continue to put these stories out there so that that it clicks. It's going to click with people, whether it be just one or two people that hear this and go, oh, that's right, you know, oh, that makes sense. So
Hey, that's one of the things I love so much about what we do here at Converge is to constantly try to keep you guys educated and informed. Well, it looks like we're about almost 10 minutes over, so we're going to let you guys go on this Friday. I could probably talk to Jake all day about this, but I'm so excited to have you guys join us today. And what a great Feel Good Friday show we had with Miss Alexandra Holien. We had our girl Shaina Shepherd, and ending it with our favorite photojournalist, Jake Graff-Brott. You guys, until Monday at 11 a.m. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth in heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day.